Here we go. And so before I read this, my black people, my black people, the woman king is not based on a true story. I repeat, it's not based on a true story. They fighting to protect slavery. So the villain in the movie is the guy who was a black man, dark skinned man, is the father of her child. So the white colonizers are giving them freedom. And also we got agendas. The agendas. I'm talking about the black feminist um WS what and, and wanted to have the black woman against the black man. But that's those agendas. Because back in the day, right, they ain't had those weapons like those colonizers use. Mm-mm-mm. I see why the Nigerian woman, I forgot her name, had turned it down because she knew about the truth about this movie. It's all lies. Hollywood is good on that. Hollywood should not say anything about our black history. They should not, they should not say anything about our ancient black history because they like to spin the narrative. Like y'all can say, "Oh, the movie's good. It's enjoyable. It shows how we have fight for our nation." Blah 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 blah. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Because but I can disagree. My black people can disagree. Outside, yeah, I can throw them in there because only it's about them hardly realizing it's whitewash. So I'm gonna read the article and and also they went to war with their own people in different tribes. I adjust y'all. It's up to y'all to not watch the movie. It's y'all if y'all want to watch it or not. Okay, the the true story of the Woman King and the Anji warriors. Correct me if I get these words mispronunciations because I'm still learning on ancient African history. The new film starring Felisa Davis and John Boyega shares light on an all-female African army. The Fist's Battle movie to hit cinema screens in a long time only came about after the producer Maria Bella. She's a white woman. Huh? Oh, okay, okay. Maria Bella is one of those crackers that works with Hollywood. Pitch it to Felicia Davis. Dang, I keep getting her name mispronounced. In front of a crowd in a war ceremony. Bello told Finley Fair that on patio at Scarborough Cultural Center, National Women's History Museum in Los Angeles, she spoke about an epic historical drama about an African warrior named Nisa and asked what you want to see Felida Davis in a role like that. The crowd went wild and rose to their three recasted applause. That seemed to settle things for Davis, who is was being being woman, excuse me, was being presented in a war that night, and so began the protection of the woman king. hmm Peace back to you, King. Okay. So, but what many people working on the film didn't know was the full true story of the all female Anji. I'm trying to learn the word Amazon warriors. In fact, there is only one recording full-length English language book in history on the tribe, the Amazons of the Black Sparta. Here's your guide to the history of these warrior women. Hollywood have messed up everything. The Aussies, also known as the only Amazons by Europeans, were an all-female group of warriors who existed in the West African kingdom, a Daomi today known as Benin. The third king of the Daomi king, Harbagara, is said to have initially set up the tribe as elephant hunters, but under the rule of his daughter Queen Himbi, who was in the power from 1708 to 1711, she began to use them as female bodyguards. And after her brother King Aja used the troops successfully to defeat the Soviet in 1727, they became established as warriors called Mino or our mothers in the Finn language known to African and beyond in the fearsome the Black Sparta. By the mid 1800s, the Ajis had become formalized into a serious military army under the rule of King Kiso, played by John Boyega in the film. In 1864, it was documented that there were more than 2,000 tribe women serving. Let me say this again: 2,000 tribe women serving for the African king in 1864. Female soldiers were reportedly signed up from the age of 8 years old and underwent a grueling training resume. Prepare for battles. They learned survival skills. Survival skills is one. Second, taught to foster indifference to pain and death, and trained to run through thorn bushes. That's third. And taught to execute prisoners with barely a blink of an eye through their insensitivity. That's four. Mm-mm-mm. The Smithsonian Magazine records exercise where the new recruits were exposed to brutal deaths and ordered out carry executions. One young female warrior named Nasa walked jauntily up to the prisoner, string her sword 3 times with both hands, and then calmly cut the last flesh that attached the head to the trunk. She then squeezed the blood off her weapon and swallowed it. Whoa. During the warrior military lives, they were not allowed to marry as in therapy that were married to the king, so ended up staying celibate. Mm-mm-mm. The second paragraph I'm going to read. When they disbanded during the 19th century, the kingdom of Dahomey came under attack from many rival tribes and European colonists. The Smithsonian Magazine says in the course of just 4 major campaigns in the latter half of the 19th century, they lost at least 60,000 dead and perhaps as many as 15,000. And their very last battles against the French troops acquired, excuse me, were vastly superior. Rapidly, about 1,500 women took field, and only about the 50 remained fit for the active duty by the end. The troops were finally disbanded, but the only became a French protectorate. The last survivor of the ending is that to have been a woman named Naomi in 1930, a Beninese historian met Naomi who claimed had fought the French in 1892. She died aged well over 100 a year later. Are the characters played by Viola David, not say Naomi, through the Mambo Reel? As above, both characters are fictionalized versions of real-life women who recorded the members of the Aussies. The Women King director Gina Prince Bay will host that the film will finally help out this underreported trial-telling family that we didn't show them how as just one thing, badass women who kill, and they also laugh and cry, and we wanted to show their full humanity, not just the cool part that will look good in the trailer. The way I see it, it's whitewash. Y'all crackers know what y'all doing. And I explained earlier about that they just find their own people that get freedom from the white colonizers. Oh, okay, Gino. Hey, what's up? What's up, Black Queen? See, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is. I hate to say this. I'm gonna cuss the library, but this right here is like whitewashing bullshit. Look good. It's like you making good for the crackers. You making good for them. You're not like making good for the black people. I know. That's why they should not interfere in ancient black history, knowing how they are. And we black people not supposed to know our ancient African history. But half of us know this anyway. And I did say this on Pretty Girl channel about Michael Jackson pitching the idea. Remember the time end up being a video because they don't want that to be beneath them. Them Hollywood people, those white Hollywood people, those Esau's. Mm-mm-mm. Wow, they were if they were warriors. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna read this. Only through lead document Amazons in world history are the women warrior Amazon. Dahomey, an 18th and 19th century Western African kingdom, once a small black mountain represented Dahomey shared with the Spartans an intense militarism and sense of collectivism. Moreover, the women of both kingdoms prided themselves on bodies hurting from childhood by a rigorous physical exercise, but Spartan women kept in shape to breed male warrior. They breed male warrior, something that they ain't put in the movie. Naomi Amazons the killed on Wesley Hollis guards. The Amazons involved by the 1760s into preferential troops and armed mainly with musties and clubs. See, they had musties and clubs. They ain't had no colonizer weapons like those those guns and such and such. By the 1840s, their numbers had grown to 60,000. The Amazons served under female officers. They served female officers and their own bands, flags, and neither. They outdrilled, outsaw, and outfought men, became frontline troops, and they fought timidly and with great valor till the kingdom by defeat France in 1892. Now I really understand this now. They fought the white colonizers. They went to war. They was doing the Atlantic slave trade. They went not their own people. Update with a new preface by the author. Amazons of the Spot is a product meticulous archival research. Excuse me, archival research and Osprey's gift of narrative. It will stand as the most comprehensive and accessible among of the women warriors at Naomi. So they went to war with the so-called French. I think, yeah. So the movie didn't put that out there, and book there's books. Dang. See, African American spirituality. I gotta make y'all moms. Now we're gonna get to the Black Mermaid because I did said about um Cinderella, that Blaney Prey in '97, and Princess and the Frog, and the recent Mermaid movie. And I said, I think I said this like Monday, I believe. It's funny that they don't have a black prince. Disney's always been racist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And I'm gonna show y'all this. You seen anything that has guns? No. Mm-mm. And the in this paragraph I was reading, it didn't say nothing about killing black men in West Africa. They were trained. Mm-hmm. Three male warriors, really praised guards, was involved in the 1760s, professional troops, and it grown 60,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know that's right. Mm-hmm. See it off with an all female African army. Mm-hmm. Oh, because this is like the code. See, see, I show. And oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is not the real Abraham Lincoln. Remember, this is not him. I have to keep reminding y'all. This is him. This is the real him. Remember, but you never see him at the Lincoln Memorial, but you see the so-called and pennies and buildings. Africanist President Abraham Lincoln, 24 States. Mm-mm, mm-mm. There's no picture. Hidden Library of Congress. No. Oh, I already made Gino a moderator. I just made Jay and King Kimpula a moderator. So yeah, I know I'm reading the right thing. Hmm. Hold on. A few minutes I was saying about the real mermaid. Dang, this is I'm oh okay. Understandable. Wait. I gotta see this. The Woman King is just cinema and it at its fine. Our history, our culture are even more beautiful when it's done right on screen. Everyone, please go see greatness. I have to disagree. I definitely have to disagree, man. Because, like I just said, the whole time they working with the colonizers or the crackers. See, see, see. I'm not gonna weep what this Yakubian has said. So this African dude, this brother right here. Look, I'm emotional. I don't give a fuck. The hashtag the woman king better win every war or not. I'm gonna win. But yeah, that's how I feel. Mm-mm-mm. Haven't seen a movie that hit me like this in a long time. Yeah, she used to play on the Parenthood. If you haven't seen it, go see The Woman King. The action, the characters, the stories, and all every what a treat. Nah, I have to disagree on that as well. Because they only Amazons in the 17 to the 19 went to the war. You gotta remember, they didn't went to war with other tribes in Africa. It was the French colonizers that invaded Africa to have us as their slaves in different countries. The bill was already there. Even Malik X had talked about this. Yep, you're right. Two white women made the story. Two women came. Mm-hmm. I'm still, oh shoot. Okay, okay. Oh, hold on. Oh shoot. Thing I closed the tab by mistake. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Frontline troops fought tremendously. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They was defeated by France, which was those white colonizers. Thing was working with them because this is not what the book has says against their own people. I know there's more. Now I'm about to read another article because after this I'm going to do an article on Patrick Clark, and this is a bonus. I'm going to add Lord of the Rings. The racist backlash to the Little Mermaid and Lord of the Rings is exhausting and extremely predictable. Two new adaptations of The Lord of the Rings and The Little Mermaid are promoting deep outrage and indignation among fans who are arguing that the process unfortunately has weakened their faithfulness to the original story. Detractors of Amazon's new Lords of the Rings series, which is debuted this month, claims that the casting Black and Asian undermines the show's faithfulness to Tenochtitlan's role. Meanwhile, some of team's fans of Disney's anime Little Mermaid are rejecting the new live-action version for swapping out the Taylor's mermaid famous blue eyes and red hair and the features of black actress Holly Bailey, not Holly Berry. The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, first drew widespread anger from fans because it caused Black and Asian actors as characters across the spectrum of a fictional Middle Earth races. Middle Earth races. Fans' chief complaint was that the decision to include non-white characters had ruined the authenticity of Tolkien's for because they had never described elves, hobbits, men, dwarves as anything other than white. Then last week, Disney released the first trailer of The Little Mermaid, featuring Bailey singing "The Heart of Your World." Thousands of YouTube retweets, leaving more than 2 million dislikes and countless comments on their trailer, and creating these ridiculous the films for casting Bailey and mocking all of its supporters. To anyone who pay attention to Greek culture over the past decade, and we're going to get to that too, or these arguments probably feel aimless and exhausting. After all this, it's the same cycle of backlash that plays out when any beloved story gets rebooted, or in the case of Tolkien's The Silmarillion adapted to film for the first time and makes any changes, big or small, that anger intensified to a new level when there are big changes that shake foundations of a story but was visually framed within a white male worldview. Let's face it, the most of the stories that have passed down to us through us to the centuries been created for us white men. No, 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 no. There, no, that that article just read. There's no way they took it, stole it. I already know the truth about that because people was telling me they did not create anything. You gotta understand. It was the Asiatic black people. I had to disagree. I was bamboozling a fool. They took it. They didn't create it. They took it and stole it. And also, I gotta get back to the Warrior King for a minute. I also said this off air that it wasn't just them working for the French colonists. They also was murdering, raping, sold their own people, and pillaged their own people for them. And I already warned earlier, from a progressive standpoint, stories are can used by shape up by varying their points of views through casting and pop culture is for all narratives with for retelling, taking the chapters at face values. However, you have a pantheon of geeks who just went to see their beloved shows left alone. These fans now face repeated battles as they watch one franchise after another falls in the clutches of the progressive directors and writers who assist the cast, casting women in lead roles of guys, casters in color, and roles reserved for white people. Okay, okay, all right, okay. Breaking the race barrier. hmm Those crackers really have a problem of casting more color actors, which are us. Mm-mm. But doesn't mean that I'm not Holly Weird's friend. I'm not friends with Holly Weird. Holly Weird's still doing racism to this day, and this is the race agenda. hmm And Holly Weird is not going to end it. It's also other major organizations. Holly Weird ain't the only one. The negative attention on The Little Mermaid and The Lord of the Rings has fueled a groundswell of support from other fans who feel such anger and found in racism. Co- Complicating all these arguments are angry right-wing politicians and info. Thanks those crackers, man. They having a problem because they not in the movie. Boo hoo! I don't even give a f. Okay, I don't. These crackers are really huffing and puffing because Hollywood got a all color cast, but they still do it. Angry right wing politicians influence like Daily Major, Mount Rushmore, using folks as a Hollywood and liberal wokeness to run a monarch and black people, brothers and sisters. I'm going to explain Hollywood. don't have no liberal wokeness. It don't exist in their agenda. On the historical autopsy of the first habits and mermaids on their face, the arguments over reigns of power of the little Murray are sufficiently absurd. The history infancy argument falls apart in any way you look at it. For starters, as many friends have noted, habits and mermaids ain't well. They will. They in the spiritual realm, and they melanated. You ever heard of a spiritual realm called the Marine Kingdom? Look that up. Rashid Jamal had talked about that, and they highly dangerous, and they will choke you to death. It's why you under the freaking water in the Marine Kingdom. They don't play. How did the movies got it? They got it from these books. So they real. Everything they telling you is the truth. And I believe that the the the, the novel, I don't give a F about the novel, but Disney and the novel book had used our modern culture. The original mermaid supposed to be an African goddess under the African sea. And her name starts with a Y. I think it's Yuba. hmm And so it shouldn't matter what race they are. Okay, alrighty, okay. For another thing, even though Toldonis settings for Middle Earth is based on Europe, people of color live throughout Marvel Europe, so the first Middle Earth is historically accurate. The the before it was Europe, it was all that was part of North Africa. The original Europeans are dark skinned people. Remember that. They did DNA and forensic. I talked about this many times. There's statues that are us. hmm We're gonna make you a moderator. Yep, race for the woman king. Yep. hmm Yeah, man. I keep clicking tabs because the Marine Kingdom do exist. Let me go on Google real quick. Let, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all something. Yamnaya is a keeping lane. See. Okay, I know, Omega. And I had posted this on Instagram. The screen bigger. Damn, I wish I can read this. See this? See these beautiful seas of black images? See? See this right here? I wish I can show more. But that'll be a day or another time. I think it's gonna be. See, the original Russians are the original Russians are the dark skinned people. You see, the nose, the lips, black features. But first, some African phenotypes. This gonna be my. It's gonna be one more, and that's it. I don't want to make the video too long. Good afternoon. Please join us for our Legos Creative Club happening right now in the garage media room for ages 5 and up. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was okay. As for Hans Christian's innocence restored the little morning, it was visually a so many allegory for a closeted queer man. So they pushing the agenda is real, just like but similar. And its original setting was far out the ocean, sinking history obviously from this type of fairy tale seems like gossiping at best, but further put to rest the argument that just characters have to be white. They need to make their own black characters. A YouTuber talk about this. He was a black man. He was a not what he's a black man, and considering that the first Disney versions made Ariel a fictional alchemist of Greek and Mandarin mythology somewhere in the middle of the North Atlantic Sea. So the idea strictly Caucasian mores from this from something is a stress. Well, the original Little Mermaid is a queer man's self-interest can long to be able to be in a relationship with another man, and at the end of the moment you don't care about the original mate. What? Again, all of this stuff is Phoenix so really cares whether they play by white or black actors. As it turns out, the answer is lots and lots of people. A key cry among these kinds of fans is that since protesting are insisting on what they have done first diversity, the writers claim that the goal isn't Rizzy Mini and Jack Wheeler's reputation to the universe for proper offense a woke logical idea. I mean woke a logical agenda. Oh woke dang, I almost had it. Ideological agenda, woke ideological agenda. This argument has been particularly loud among right-wing politicians and conservative influence. Man, they too much. That's the problem. They want how how they want to be a Caucasian cast, and even Hollywood does it. And Dr. Boyce Watkins had talked about different world that is a white show with black actors. Fresh Prince, Family Matters, and more are white shows, and I've just missed it now. I really have true understanding. The idea for such fans will be something that tend to describe organic diversity, something that will arise naturally from the can canonism descriptions of characters. For instance, on the Taiwan Scholar complained to CNN that Tom described Els as fair face, anything to Tawny will ruin authenticity for the show. This is not something Orient that's coming out of Middle Earth. Tingling expert Louis Marcos Toching, and this is really agenda that is opposed of framing the more existence non-white characters than me as a political stance as itself and a political agenda. So they put the agenda, but Hollywood is still racist. Or uh, I got well never it con this the long legacy of fantasy adaptations, devastating from kennels, characters, and fans usually not minding as long as casting still reinforced as a white male centric work. Mm-mm-mm. This brings us to the larger issue at play. This ain't just about the habits of fair faced elves and red headed mermaid, about the existence of real people in our non virtual world. Mm-mm-mm. Dang, I think welcome to the culture world war for the 18 millionth time. The English culture over increased diversity has faintly targeted everything from games to Ghostbusters, and now it's arrived to a fantasy universe near you. See it, the latest Star Wars series, or Captain Marvel, or Black Panther, or Black Adam Star Wars again, or pretty much every familiar franchise being adapted or remade these days with women and or black protagonists. Usually the audience that resists changes that decry every reason such race and misogyny for the hatred of these changes. For example, they might argue that the casting actors of color is a cheap, authentic change that does nothing to deepen the world view of a story or if the casting was so in a Sith world view, they might argue that a rare view ain't faithful to the original creator's vision. This is usually make it clear that never understood the creator's vision at all because these narratives nearly have this is deeply human or and honest attempts to acknowledge for more closely with progressive worldview than a traditionalist worldview, especially a racist one. It's those racists, they really have a problem if their kind are not in these movie rules. See? Like well, I don't see my people, but see all different races, which are the originals. Simeon C. Take a look. Sidney Indian Robinson as the Queen, Reverend Mary and Lord of the Rings of Power. You see, did y'all know that the Lord of the Rings has something to do with our American culture? But they got a diabolical Yakubian cast. See, they did this with Moses and Pharaoh and all the whitewashing Hollywood movies, the, and even Spartans, um, and the list goes on. Diverse casting can come with pitfalls. Sometimes can be a shortcut to appear progressive without actually being progressive. See, Brewster and Hamilton Studios, just as Disney, are more often invested in rebooting their existing IP rather than taking chances telling new, exciting stories from minority creators. Fans argue that this is simply on redoing an old story where the casting firstly has led to repeating to racist infestation in phase or pointless reboots, entire recasts, rather than something truly different and expensive. However, these arguments often down the voices of fans of color who are overjoyed with their see themselves reflected in the legacy mirror they love, like the parents who celebrate the little one betrayed by certain photos and fear of their black girls reacting extraordinarily. What's more, with when a high power studios like Disney do that take such stances on new original work that we saw. Wonderful work often also draws tremendous amounts of a frame backlash. Bischoff's secret hit turning red became a surprise explosive target because it's supposedly unique place and subject as well as characters. This is all just suggested that arguments like the Fozzy as are just shallow and political, just as racist and sexist as these generals and period drama expert Amanda Repriest learned this lesson when she began tracking the fandom for the co-PBS series Santan. The series adapted of Jane Austen's unfinished novel featured one character of color, highly richly defined cast of much more high-profile period drama as prisons in golden age. Priest Scott asserted to pick many fans bringing more characters of color to also have more screen time. The majority of show's white fandom was committed to maintaining something as the anti-Bridgerton. In other words, that the person is mainly yeah, that's what they really want. They want all this WSP. Priest got next similar their form of race keep gatekeeping around the recent effort adaptation of Usher's frustration with a white Austin fan making racism become other critics of the movie as well. Essentially, lighthearted means making fun of out the film of opinion race. Both types of racist suggestions have intensities. News adaptations. The memory trailer comments are certainly wall to wall with haters making fun of people who like the trailer, making fun of wall to wall haters making fun of people who like the trailer. Variant of a copy paste meme mock the idea of liking the movie. So they making a mockery. The meme, like so many politically motive memes, matches the real racist agenda. It's a racist agenda. The repellent nature of all of these firms disclosed, Scott points out, is part of the system. Same people are angry about Black Queen, a South Asian fake college on bulletins are the same people who are not angry about the Baltic elves, racist and mermaids. P. Scott told me in an email you can copy and paste racist comments and about the first periods of drama until the racist comment about these fantasy franchise. There are people in period trauma fandom who watch these series because they don't want to see a black or PC characters in its same trans popular fiction. In fiction. So racism replacement, it do exist for them. It's an outrage. Reed Scott says she believes a driving theme of these campaigns is offering the use of the same argument to match the real ones with serial dramas. Its arguments for the historical opposite with fantasy and science fiction adaptation is the argument concerning whatever version of the you grew up with racist weaponized childhood to oppose the first casting in the sci-fi slash fantasy series because they cannot rely on whitewash history. Yeah, I already got out of it. I've been there and found I was in that trap. We all black people into that whitewashing history trap when in school, but didn't teach enough about our melanin culture. But when it's black history, they just teach us about black civil rights leaders and former black slaves and how George Washington Carver invented the traffic light. hmm Here again, through these arguments, proud father of families after all generations of this weekend who grew up beloved the 1997 of Cinderella. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. AKA the Brandon Cinderella didn't suddenly have meltdowns over later updating that the cat Cinderella is right. It's the latter Cinderella's a pretty part is Genoa's fairy godmother. Yeah, Billy Porter, the guy who wore a tuxedo skirt at these Yakubian uh, anti-Christ wars. Facing transformer backlash because there's one thing these fairies are famous for their weird gender binary. Hollywood does it too. In other words, the backlash only works in one direction and only it ever has its one ultimate in erasing the threat and difference in deviance. Prescott doesn't have much hope. It will stop anytime soon. I believe racists are going to attack any serious that their beliefs should have been 100% right. Yeah, and I know like a few. hmm For these Yakubian crackers who thinks I'm a racist, they will really, 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 really go on attack Hollywood for casting all peoples of colors. You see, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and Indians, we all the same race, but the ancient are the black people, different cultures, because they got black in them too. I said this a couple of years ago. Like Samoans and Philippines, two prime examples. Please God doesn't have most hope it will stop anytime. So I believe racists are going to attack any series that they believe should have been 100% white. Please God, bro. Yeah, I did read this. Racists are going to get mad at the next superhero or horror show that race bans a character, and they will be outraged over whenever the best Kristen is. Their goal is to stop all efforts to diversify Hollywood. See, Hollywood, what they want is keep us people to distracted. So the racists, I'm talking about them Yakubians, can go off. But I had to say that they need to create their own characters instead of them being right replacements of the character. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, you see, you see what I'm talking about? That's will keep us feel satisfied. That's a like I said, that's a distraction to keep us occupied. That's what the elites want. But they still continue doing this. hmm Yeah, I'm not gonna read this last article. See, mm-mm-mm. Gender binary, black men playing fairies, and the reboot Cinderella, not with Brandy. Then you got this show called Blurstown having a South Asian and a black queen. Then they still have the black mermaid prince still white, and they pushing this interracial agenda because it's behind it. There's nothing to hide with that interracial agenda. I don't have a problem with it, but it's some stuff behind it. It's really deep, but it's the complete opposite what Yaku's cousin had did. Mm-mm-mm. Then the Greeks, the Romans are the dark skinned people, the originals. hmm Yeah, and they exhausting on these crackers, man. So that's it. I'm out. How's that for the culture? Yo, what's up? What's up?